Hello, people. So today we continue with the budget education. Today we are going to see budget execution analysis. The session is going to be given by me. I'm Rodri. I'm a GFB team member and I was MCVP Finance in two consecutive terms for AIESEC in El Salvador. So these are the standards items covering the sessions. They are four and you can read them. And you are asking why is important to have a good record of the execution of our finances. Well, in this case, managing the budget execution is very important to have the correct analysis and better decision making. If we have the correct information of our finances, we can have better decision making, because if we have the correct information or we are not like entering the correct information of our finance, then we most certainly going to be making incorrect decisions. So in these sessions we want to guide you to learn how you can use the current budget tool and fill out the budget tool in a proper way. And for this, we are concentrating mostly in four tabs, which are the cost executed, revenues executed, balance sheet, and cash flow statement executed. So, how do we fill them? In this case, these tabs are very easy to fill out. You can The most important information is going to come from your bank statement or your account systems, uh, because in this case, I personally use an account system separated from the budget tool, and at the end of the month, I collect the information and place it on the budget tool so I can send the GFB report. Uh, by the early bird. So we have to remember that all this information has to be accordingly to the GFB chart of account. And in this case, you can see that the revenues executed is divided in months, and you will have to segregate the data depending on the chart of accounts of GFB or of the revenues. In this case, you will need to fill out the all the revenues that you have perceived, and you will have just to separate it depending on if it was ELD product or it was an EWA revenue. Then we have the cost executed, that is mostly the same as the revenues. You have to collect all the data of the costs that you have during the month. You will have to place it on the correct month column and divide it depending on the chart of accounts. After having the revenues and the costs, you will have to fill out the balance sheet, where you will have to place uh, how much money did you have at the end of the month on your bank account and the petty cash, and you will place mostly the assets and liabilities that you ended which you ended in that month. So if you have more debt, you will have to place more liabilities, and if you have more assets, you will have to place more assets, depending also on how do you divide the information accordingly to the chart of accounts. I really recommend you to also check the education of the chart of accounts if you are not sure on how to classify certain revenues, costs, or liabilities, so you can have more clarity and you can fill out this information properly in the executed of the budget. After that, you will have the cash flow statement executed, which is is very similar as the revenues and the cost, but in this case we are uh, just following the cash inflows and outflows. In this case, is also divided in month columns, where you will have to classify if the cash comes from a certain product, but is less specified, and is not that specified as in the tab of revenues and costs executed. And after having all this information, how do we use it? Or how do we make the analysis of our entity and the state and the products? Well, for this, we can go to the profit and loss execution. Once we fill out the revenues and the costs and the balance sheet, then this profit and loss execution will automatically autofill, so you don't have to like place any more information here, but you will have to analyze the information that this tab is giving you. For example, it will give you the the direct profit and loss per product separated by ELD, EWA, and project management. You can see how much is your profit and loss per each product. On the top of the chart, you can see the general execution and the general execution per ELD and EWA products, and you can check the direct profit and loss per product, and you can see how much is your profit and loss per each product. You can also see the profit and loss execution sheet helps you to analyze the current state of the same products in terms of financial goals. You can have also the charts, so you can have the information more visual for the ones that are more visual and not work only with numbers. You can use these charts also to report, so you can have it as a more visual information. Then we have the cash flow execution. You can check the open balance of your cash flow and the net change of the same. And you also have some tables of the inflows and outflows that you have. You will have the graphics so you can visualize it better. And how can you obtain the data in the budget tool for reporting? Well, we have seen that the data is in separate tabs. You can check it, for example, here, the costs, you can check it on the cost executed tab, or you can go to the profit and loss executed, where it shows you the revenues and the cost together. For reporting is mostly the same. You can go to the revenue execution tab, or you can go to the profit and loss tab, which shows you the total revenues and the cost together. And for reporting profit and loss execution, you can use the profit and loss tab, where it shows you the profit and loss per product, or also the total profit and loss of the month, and you can check if you were in profit or if you were in loss. So, in conclusions, a good execution analysis are related with the way to fill the real cost, the revenues, and the exchange performance. In this case, we have to remember that if we have the correct data, we will be able to make the best decisions. If we don't collect or divide the information properly, then most likely the decision that we make will be incorrect. It is very important as a financial have clarity of the situations, and the benefits that you can get from this is that you can see the improvement of your performance, have better conversations with your synergies with the correct information, focus on goals achievement, and improve your accountability with your MC and national planner. And that's mostly all of the information that we have for today. I hope you have learned something today, and thank you.